Hello, everybody. This is Angel Arts, and welcome back to another candidate who is vying for position for the Dragon Age Season 2 campaign. This is Mecha Michaelis. Say hi, Mecha.
Hello, everyone.
And today we are going to dive right in with the out of character questions with Mecha. So, question number one Mecha, what is it about the Dragon Age universe that interests you?
Well, it's definitely the lore and how the history actually works, and it's definitely more different. It has an ancient evil which we must succumb, but also there's also new evil arising. Well, evil always arises at every occasion, and character development's also quite important. It's great to see how the story definitely unfolds within the actual age before it eventually goes into the new age, hypothetically.
Understandable. Second question, what is it about tabletop gaming or role playing that interests you?
Well, I've actually did some practicing of tabletop campaigns at Alcon with Mr. Purple because I know some of the members of staff. So I began to do some like role playing tabletop games there, and I've actually gotten used to it. And people said I was also a really good GM as well. That apparently that one person controls the matters and the fates of the game. It kind of makes everything more risk worthy.
Question number three, why do you believe that you would be a good person for others to play with?
Basically, I would love to actually try and interact with other characters rather than through writing but through speech, and therefore out of character get to know the people as well. So that way we can all be unified no matter what race, color, age, or sexuality.
Okay. What do you believe, Mecha, is your biggest weakness as a player, and how do you plan on overcoming / improving that weakness?
I tend to overthink about situations, and it tends to basically get a bit rational. So ends up backfiring on myself and like, okay, I need to learn from this mistake. Basically, my biggest weakness, of course, unable to work in a group as much, especially people who are international, because I tend to work on my own and at my own pace at times. So it's trying to work with other people in other time zones. Um, that's pretty much going to be a massive improvement if I can do that.
Okay. That's an honest answer. Thank you. And then my last question is a little bit different for most people because, like I said, it's not a requirement for people to have seen the season one of Dragon Age. So I will instead ask Mecha this question, which is pick any event from the Dragon Age Origins game.
Not the DLC?
If you want to include the DLC, you're welcome to include the DLC too.
Okay.
And how your character would have handled a certain situation, decision, scenario in anything from the Origins campaign or DLC. And it doesn't have to be anything major. It can be a minor situation. Like here, a minor situation might be how would your character have handled crossing the lake, convincing the guard to allow you to cross the lake to get to the mage tower, for example. That's just an example.
Yeah,
Um,
I have the perfect answer to that. Basically, deck him one.
deck him one. All right. You would knock him out and then steal the boat. That's what your character would have done.
Yeah, he pretty much would. He'd be like, I have heard no time of this. Bam.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. So, this part of the interview. We're going to go into the in-character interview, and again, as I explained to Mecha, this is going to be a hypothetical, non-canon situation. So, let us pretend that Morrigan encounters the Black King. You can choose where. It doesn't really matter where. I'm sure Morrigan can encounter him virtually anywhere because she can be almost anywhere.
Sure.
and we'll just have like she probably will be curious of this creature. I don't think that she would scare like I don't think she would be necessarily frightened by this creature. I think she would be very curious about this creature. And so this little interaction is more about her trying to learn more about him because of the piqued curiosity. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I think
So,
the location should be Emprise du Lom.
okay. So, while you are I guess hanging out over there, I'm assuming trying to stay relatively hidden because if you are seen, you've probably have at least figured out that people tend to react to you in ways that might be compromising. So we'll
Yes.
say. So there's this woman, Morgan. You probably know who she is. I would probably say that by now she's a relatively well-known person, and you at least recognize her. Maybe not know all about her, but at least know who she is. And you will hear her say, "Well, well, well, what do we have here? Is this curious?" She sort of looks you up and down and studies you carefully, not in a frightening sort of way, which is what most people seem to react to you, but she's very different in that she doesn't seem at all scared, but more curious of you.
Do you say that to all the people you cross off?
She says, "Only the ones that I feel are worth my time."
Interesting.
That's what I was about to say. You are a curious, curious individual.
I have been around.
May I ask, from where do you hail?
I hail from ancient Tevinter.
She says, "I figured as much. We haven't seen many of your kind as of late. What, may I ask, does an ancient Tevinter, for what purpose does he find himself here, I wonder?"
I have been woken from the songs of the archdemons, and I will not rest until my brethren have also broken from their spells.
You seek to break away from the songs of the archdemon, you say?
Much like your son.
She almost gets taken aback by this, and her face turns a little paler, slightly paler, and says, "What do you know of my son?"
I can sense the soul of Urfamel, the goddess of beauty. I should know. I started the fifth blight.
"Now you definitely have my attention," she says, her voice, the tone of her voice, changing a little bit less sweet as it was before and a little bit more not with full animosity, but at least one that's has brought her to attention. "Tell me, creature, what do they call you? And what is your intention?"
The thing is, I have lost my name so ages ago. They call me the Black King, and I aim to free my brethren from the songs into a more peaceful harmony underground.
The Black King. Is that a name that you said your brethren chose for you, or that you gave yourself?
I gave upon myself after I was free.
I see. Well, it looks like Morgan was about to comment on that, but she decided it would be best not to. And she then asks you, "How you probably have noticed, my dear, that most people up here on the surface may not see kindly to someone of your let's say, regal position. How exactly have you handled those who might misconceptually see you as a threat?
I say nothing and walk away from the problems. If they pursue, they get secured with my ancient Alpha Drake sword.
The direct approach. I see. Well then, she asks, what exactly are your skill sets besides skewering people with your sword? I'm just curious.
I get to remember my skills. I suppose using chains to rattle my enemies, pull them closer to their deaths is a sufficable skill.
How much do you remember from your days back in ancient Tevinter?
They're pretty much figments. I cannot remember all. They're like little lamps lit in the dark in a thundery storm.
Do you have any memories that are still vivid in your mind?
The only one that is vivid is a man eating another and my friend running away.
Charming, she says. And what of magic? I'm assuming that perhaps you might have a little share of magic, being from ancient Tevinter?
I have extensive knowledge of ancient magic and ancient elven lore, as I have explored many ruins when I became this.
And tell me one more question. Oh, Black King, your majesty, she says. Once you do succeed in freeing your brethren from the song of the archdemon, what do you intend to do then?
As some may say, there are still some ancient Darkspawn roaming around, screaming their way free. I will eliminate them as quick as possible, unless someone does my job for me. Greetings, fellow human dogs. I am the Black King, a walking, talking Darkspawn from ancient Tevinter. You shall pick me at the side of the team of the rest of the tabletop campaign for Season 2. I have exceptionally good skills and immaculate strength. Though I may not remember much, but I know things should not be right in this world, and I shall do my job justice.